Good evening and welcome back to yet another SpyParty Masters Championship 2023 cast. I'm your humble host, Restaurants. To break down this matchup between Lev and Miniorek, I have recruited Ligor, Janine, and Hornet. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good afternoon and good evening.
Hello, everyone. All right, and let's go ahead and take a quick look at the brackets. So we are still in the round robin phase, and it looks like we are going to be casting the Group A match today. Um, yeah, so just taking a quick look at the group. I'm sure we've seen it quite a bit before, but pretty interesting group. Mini previous champion, probably clear favorite. The other three players, though, quite equal in skill. Players that have a really high ceiling, can play extremely well on any given day, but quite hard to predict. But looks like we do have a few results already. So yeah, Legorov, what do you think about the group so far?
Yeah, it's looking like Mini's already out to a dominating lead, as one might expect. And it's really going to come down to this one. This could decide who moves on to that bracket stage.
Yeah, yeah, quite an important game here. So Mini doing quite well, as one could reasonably expect. Yeah, so previously, already champion last year. Incredible performance, and yeah, just consistently just doing very well in pretty recent tournaments. But looking at these results, no like clear first places, I guess, since the previous SMC, although still quite an impressive result in its own right, and looking really good so far. So beating two extremely strong players in Adafiash and Koopa already. So yeah, the only thing left is Lev, and yeah, it's kind of funny because like stylistically, you look at these players, and I feel like they are actually quite similar in their style. Pretty solid players. Like they're not really going to make a whole lot of mistakes. And yeah, so Lev recently had a really nice showing in the Winter Cup. Also like Summer Cup, really always doing fairly good in any kind of tournament. Usually finishing up towards the top. Had a very narrow loss to Ada, so yeah, still kind of leaves things open to come back, but he would have to start things off with a win today.
Yeah, unfortunately, Koopa, I think, is going to have a tough time qualifying for this one if it's not already impossible. Ada looks pretty solid to make it to bracket as well, but it'll be up to Lev versus Ada if Lev can pull this one out. Shall we get on to the draft then?
Absolutely. Um, yeah, so I am kind of a fan of these picks and drafts, or these bans and restricts. This looks like it could have been one of my drafts. I'm not not a huge fan of Tan or Terrace. Like Terrace kind of just, I don't know, at least at this level, it almost just feels like sniper handshake unless you get some crazy luck, with a party. Tan is a little bit more competitive. And then yeah, with Aquarium, I can see that Aquarium could easily play into mini strength. He's done a lot better, like with pathing sniping lately. Um, High rise, I think maybe that's more of a personal preference. Um, and yeah, so what do you think about the actual doubles and the singles for these players?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of 4 of 8s here. I think the restrict and then uh, single of Aquarium makes a lot of sense because both these players are comfortable on it, but Lev probably wants to avoid doubling it just in case Mini can, pull out a couple of shark walks there.
Yeah, probably a good decision. Yeah, and the double of Redwoods is kind of interesting because, like, I know Mini is quite confident, quite comfortable on Redwoods, but Lev is actually a player who will also pick Redwoods a lot. Um, so that could be a little bit of a double-edged sword because you're playing into your own strength, but you're also playing into your opponent's strength. Um, and the balcony single is quite interesting. I wouldn't think Lev was someone who wants to play balcony, but I think maybe given the stakes of this match, he knows like, hey, I might be in a position where I need like a late game sweep, and I mean, what better venue for for a sweep than balcony?
Yeah, not the place where you want to have your back against the wall, though.
Yeah, definitely not ideal, but yeah, probably just maybe a bit of a strategic play and maybe kind of same lines of thinking with the courtyard pick as well.
Well, with that, I think we have to make predictions before we get this match underway. Um, I think it's gonna have to be Mini for me. Mini,
Uh,
who's just been in complete domineering form, has never not been, as far as I've seen.
yeah, that's probably a pretty safe assumption. Many quite consistent. Yeah, I mean, the only thing the only thing I'll say is, he's not probably feeling a whole lot of pressure in this match. Lev, I think Lev's gonna come out swinging, and you know what, I'm gonna ride the fence a little bit and say Lev gets some sweeps, but Mini answers with his own sweeps, and it ends with a draw, which actually would I
Yeah,
believe allow Mini to advance regardless of the
we will
outcome.
see all 16 games, so that is a possibility here.
As the host, I do not accept this answer. We have to pick a winner.
Oh, I have to pick a winner. Oh, well then, you
No
know
fence
what?
riding.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna say Lev. Lev finds a sweep on
Spicy.
Redwoods, finds another sweep on Balcony, and Mini only gets one sweep of his own.
See how close to truth that is as we step into Redwoods to start us off then.
All right, so it looks like Mini will start things off, spying as Irish in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Pretty quick diversion away from the statue pad there. I think mostly to chase down ST, but probably also wants to avoid any early highlight.
Yeah, almost was in a position for kind of a chaos bug, but probably thought better of it because just maybe a lot of people there, a little too much bouncing. You don't know how visible that arm is going to be. Um, and yeah, this party has very quickly settled. So any ideas that Mini has, he can probably go ahead and start working on. And looks like kind of chasing down the ST, but ST really is in a position to be flirted with at the moment.
Yeah, he's pretty dead center on that pad, so it'd be a bit difficult to even land there, and we don't want to land in that useless conversation.
Yeah, so whatever plan Mini had, I think is quickly changing and heading to blue books. So see if Mini has transfer in mind. Not yeah, I have to say maybe for Redwoods, kind of like not something I'm used to seeing too much. Okay, so he is going to take the book away, and surely Lev has noticed this. So yeah, let's see. I mean, I guess direct transfer when you're not really suspected of anything probably could be the best time to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I think Mini trying to get himself really close to General there to cover up the book, but it was actually kind of visible through the gap. And now we've lost most of that crowd cover. If
Yeah, so
Lev
take
didn't wasn't aware of the book in the first place.
yeah, and Ambassador joins right next to us, but of course we have this book in hand. So even if that was an okay bug position, it's not actually going to be possible. Um, Surely Lev would have been well aware. And oh, and Mini goes for a time ad, which honestly, considering 0 missions done, not a bad play, and probably early enough that Lev probably isn't paying too much attention to the clock. So you know, yeah, pretty decent play by Mini so far.
Yeah, we could get our first progress of the game with the 34%. We could do really shove our way into this gap in conversation, but it's fine. I don't think Lev's gonna pay it too much attention.
Yeah, and if I'm taking a quick look so far, I think we have about I want to say 4 highlights, and Lev seems to be highlighting for book visits, particularly the books where you're in the front, where you're also getting inspect credit. And I
We
believe,
did just get a highlight on wheels there, I think, for potential bug credit as we cover up his arm next to Amba.
yeah, so this can definitely be helpful for many, as like a lot of the cast are picking up credit, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe Kane has been to 2 bookcases, so he's gonna be watched very closely right now. Yeah, and we have this book in hand, but I know we're probably not being focused yet because we really haven't done anything, to really warrant being tunneled yet. I think
Hmm.
I think Mini was going to that green bookcase, but Taft had
Yeah,
something else to say about it.
we do commit to the redirect, so that could, give some information towards the sniper. whether you know it's a blue book or not, to sell that this is a green book.
Yeah, and I think, so Mini does go for the direct transfer, and I do not blame him. I think to even have a chance of finishing, you really have to fully commit to this play. So we pick up the highlight, but I think that highlight is rather innocent as it's kind of following the pattern. Like everyone who's gone to these front books has been highlighted so far. So now the question comes down to, can we pick up another mission in addition to being in for contact? And honestly, this
We might not need a contact if there's a fingerprintable statue that Minnie's been keeping his eye on, but we're going to be tough on time.
yeah,
Just
that's a
before
very good
getting
point.
finished
We
up.
have the partial credit for both the inspects and fingerprints.
It's going to be overtime.
Yeah, so here's the moment of truth. Was the ambassador nice enough to leave some
Ooh, red
prints here?
dress.
No,
Red
so
dress is going to take the shot if there's overtime. Potentially. Hanging clock with the green swap might change things. In with the DA, red dress joins. Oh, but we decided to move. Oh, we're going for crash bug.
oh, we take the shot. That was an interesting case because I don't know if Mini kind of realized that maybe he had some chances. I think he wanted to go for the bug to maybe just rush the timer because I think he knew that Lev was camping the statues at that point. Um, but yeah, honestly, just I think good on Lev because I think maybe he did kind of have that narrowed down to who could be hanging the clock at that point, and that was enough to find the shot.
I'm surprised Mini decides to go for the bug to preemptively cause overtime instead of the contact there.
Yeah, that is a very good point. The contact was right there for the taking. Yeah, not too sure what the reasoning was, but yeah, with that though, yeah, it does start off 1-0 for Lev. So let's see if he can make something happen here on the spy side. So it looks like Lev will be spying as red dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and that was a pretty clean game otherwise. So, bit of a
Yeah,
gift.
I'm quite impressed with the way it started out because that was, one of those positions where like you're putting yourself in a really good spot to actually force a win. I feel like maybe kind of a common play style lately is, playing rather slow and hoping the sniper makes mistakes. But yeah, I kind of like the way these players play on Redwoods, where you're really just actually just going for it and finishing missions. And Lev starting off pretty early with the single inspect, so um, yeah, that could come very in handy later if we take a visit to books to finish the last two.
Yeah, Lev did decide to just walk away from the ST early on. Could have been picked up on by Mini, but got a couple of early soft tell progress.
Yeah, and not too much going on. Like no one really taking a trip to the books other than the ambassador. So if Lev had any ideas of framing, not looking too great so far. So unfortunately, Salmon picks up the print, who's already earned a highlight somehow. Actually, quite a couple of cast members have already picked up lowlights.
Yeah, Mini, I think, has definitely become a student of pathing and has been good so far. I think in the last match I casted against Koopa, never made any mistakes.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. Like especially on a venue like Redwoods, where I mean, at least to like the the average player, it doesn't seem like there's that many pathing tells you could really pick up on. But yeah, Mini has definitely been doing his homework. And Ambassador leaving another set of prints on the statue that we've
Ooh,
already been to. Lev goes
was
for the wrong arm walking bug, leaving the conversation, but it doesn't take. So we pick up a highlight and we don't even have the bug credit to go with it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We used up a minute of time in that conversation and got nothing for it, so we're going to make our way over to this double dip conversation, but we're going to glance past it. Will Mini be able to shoot if we decide to enter it afterwards once a spot opens up?
Yeah, not Lev doesn't look too happy. I kind of hope he's not giving up on this round already, because I mean, still always some chances. I think just the unfortunate thing is like we're really one of only two highlights here, and yeah, Mini is doing a really good job of narrowing this party down. Um, some of the casts like have been active. They've been going around to mission sites, but Yeah, Mini just not really taking the bait on it right now. Luckily, Rocker, though, who already was a highlight, is heading into these green bugs, so that might give us some opportunity to work with.
Yeah, but Lev's in really big trouble if he wants to finish this game. Wheels enters next to us, or in our conversation. Might be able to sell a send here, but it's not going to force overtime or anything. We might have to try to get this bug. Hambo will not oblige.
Yeah, Lev is very clearly committed to timing out at this point, so let's just see, is Mini, is he going to be worried about
Without a
this per
contact,
line?
I don't think Mini's even shooting this. Mini in
Yeah,
full control.
it's a very fair point. Frame without contact is going to be very difficult to pull off, so yeah, with that, runs out of time, and let's go ahead and move on to the next round. All right, so looks like, oh, so Mini will also be spying as Red Dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, normally there, if snipers on has a pretty strong suspicion of that double walking bug, for example, they'd be pretty comfortable taking the shot for the purloin. But Mini, I think, was just so on top of that party, was definitely knew that Wheels wasn't done with missions, knew that Red Dress wasn't done with missions, and was able to hold that.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a common theme I've noticed with both Mini and Lev is like they are really good at having a mission count, and even if yeah, you're certain that this is the spy, like if they don't, if they know that you can't be done, they'll just hold a shot, which yeah, to me shows really good discipline because usually like I'm always wondering like have I missed a mission somewhere. But yeah, these players obviously very experienced and yeah, they know not to take any unnecessary risks.
Double Agent does go and join our conversation, even though he's standing above this briefcase. And it's not the worst opportunity, except that SDA is out in the back right now.
Yeah, Mini seems content to just kind of go ahead and finish up flirt here. I think he kind of started off flirting pretty aggressively and seems content to finish that way. And I think he wants to take this contact. I think he's just waiting for just more people to get in conversation at the moment.
Yeah, we had a good opportunity when one more person joined, and that happened to be the SDA. Things might look a bit better here in a moment, but as I say that, a few more people dissolve.
Yeah, so we did have, okay, so we do finish up flirt, but yeah, only, I mean, with this approach, we've only given ourselves about a minute and a half to do every other mission. And yeah, contact isn't even in the cards anymore, so we're, yeah, headed to go ahead and take this print. Probably a good decision. I think Ambassador has left at least some other, additional prints around the venue, so hopefully Mini during that time was paying attention, which
We were
I'm sure he
really
was.
concealed for that briefcase return. We probably could have taken a bug there and gotten away with it. But I think that briefcase is clean at the same time.
Yeah, I think it was clean, and honestly, there might still be a. Is there still a print on the bar?
I
No, it
think
doesn't
there were
look like
two
it.
in between.
Okay, so
Conversations are really full right now, except for Smallman, but he's been out of conversation, not doing much the entire game.
yeah, so Minnie heads back to this convo, and it almost looked like he was kind of second guessing himself because we don't really need to be in with the ST again. But probably committing to this delegate. Yeah, so he did go ahead and delegate to Disney
Ooh,
here.
it's Disney's got a book though, so he's gone rogue. It must have been shuffled off of his destination pad, but that means he's gonna be weird. He broke out of leave.
Oh, very, oh, very interesting. I don't know if I can say that was done intentionally by Minnie, but yeah. So like obviously AIs can break etiquette when influenced by the spy, and I think that's just what happened. So wow, like Lev honestly really kind of impressive to see that etiquette break, but yeah, Minnie was the one to make it happen.
Yeah, and if we were still on this game and we can go back to 44 seconds, uh, both people next to Minnie on either side leave the conversation, and then Minnie's able to send the next closest person. So in the very quick span, three people leave, and the one who's closest happens to be someone who's holding a book. And it happens to work out extremely well for Mini, as we see, forcing an etiquette break.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like I do like that play where, yeah, especially when someone just left. It's kind of it makes it a lot harder for the sniper to track like who could have sent who in that particular position, because it could have easily looked like okay, maybe someone else had sent. Obviously who has been to the bar, it kind of factors into that decision. But yeah, really smart play from Mini, and yeah, it's just pretty crazy the way that that worked out.
Oh, we're no longer clean on snipers. We'll see if Lev can even out his venue pick.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lev trying to answer as teal in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This is Mini's pick, so Mini might be able to take advantage out of it.
Yeah, it was Mini's pick, but I do know, Lev, quite a decent Redwoods player. Something that's definitely commonly like seen in his repertoire. So I'm sure he would love to at least come out of this, even.
We did remain on AI control for a little bit there, maybe wanting to take advantage of the lowlights that Mini's been giving out. Green swap to start top, as we did take control to redirect into a side statue.
Yeah, so if Lev has been looking at these replays, he knows that Mini's taking some very, very aggressive lowlights. Because, like, yeah, taking a lowlight as early is always kind of a risk. I know generally, like, really good players won't stay on AI control for a long time, and that's probably why Mini's doing it. But yes, I do believe Lev was baiting that out. And
Swap has occurred. Mini was not watching for the fade this early in the game, but could be down to 2 once Mini takes note.
yeah, definitely a bold play from Lev. I have noticed Lev is one of the few top players who's really not afraid to swap, and he'll do it at interesting times. And honestly, yeah, I kind of like the play to go for a green swap because like you think like early enough, it's like okay, maybe he hasn't looked at statues yet. I can just do a quick white swap, but
We are seeing lowlights come out very
yeah.
slowly, however.
But I think Lev is smart to know that he can probably memorize the statues really quickly. So green, probably the right play. Uh, but yeah, he's shaking the camera a little bit. I wonder if he's concerned about something at the moment.
Might be unhappy that Ambo went back to the swap statue. If we want to get some fingerprints, gonna have to waste a bit of time not getting an inspect. Double agent. This is really good. Everyone in conversation
Banana bread.
is still neutral.
Yeah, that was
General.
perfect. Oh wow, and it was green to make it even better. Yeah, so Lev, making the big plays, and actually, yeah, I mean, both players starting out like completely swinging, making huge plays, and yeah, pays off for Lev in this game. Brilliantly frames general here.
Yeah, and we're even out of redwoods with some civ shots. Not really what I expected from these two.
Yeah, not really what I expected either. I kind of maybe expected like some spy victories here, but yeah, I mean, some honestly pretty good framing plays, and like, yeah, I mean, usually like when I'm playing Redwoods, my first thought isn't on the subject of framing, but yeah, it just kind of shows that these players are opportunistic, and they'll take these opportunities when they present themselves. So with that, moving on to ballroom, and looks like Mini will be spying as Taft in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Making sure that
It's
we start out with an early flirt. We'll see if we leave this position now that it's gotten a bit more awkward with teal.
yeah, so yeah, it's kind of a good point. Like, are we the ones who look awkward, or is Teal the one who looks awkward here? So, um, yeah, Mini, I feel like like early flirts has kind of been in the repertoire so far, and I think this might be the first green for 51%. So, maybe gonna look to take advantage of that. Um, and yeah, also, kind of an interesting choice in Taft, like on the smaller venue here in ballroom.
Green purloin, as Toby comes over to offer. Twin will be offered next. We could request this and return the list, but the list fade is definitely visible there.
Yeah,
Lev has
so
2 highlights and they're both correct.
Okay, so Twin, and I guess Small Man was also in the chain, so this is already narrowed down to 3. Um, yeah, so I think
Ooh,
both players, yeah, kind of an interesting choice, because, you know, I mean, Love did the immediate swap, so we're also doing the immediate hardtail as well in return.
Smallman did take a somewhat of a bug path into Blue Books there. I don't think that it was credible enough to have him be a high threat, but the timing of it certainly is suspicious.
Yeah, I would, I mean, if I'm Lev, I would probably be tunneling Small Man quite a bit here. Like, he also took, like, a really short AI looking path, which honestly is something I would probably give Mini credit for trying. And yeah, immediately gets in combo with Twin. So I mean, I guess maybe that part isn't too suspicious in itself. But yeah, Tapped has really done nothing. So like, if you're really worried right now, you're probably looking more at that conversation than Tapped right now.
Yeah, and if maybe Lev is on top of this
Banana bread.
chain, Smallman's knocked out as he splits from this white BB. If Lev isn't on top of this, this could be a bit of a runaway game. If Lev feels like he's losing control and missed someone in the reject chain, but if he is on top of this chain with these highlights, then he should be well underway to clean this one up.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, he's probably feeling a lot more comfortable after eliminating Small Man. That would probably be my biggest concern, especially if especially if he could have had bug credit. Um, but between these two, especially with them being in the same conversation, I think he can tunnel them quite comfortably, and have a good feeling, of if they're approaching mission completion.
Unfortunately for Mini, ST switches into the double agents conversation, so we're gonna have to head over there and talk with him again potentially to finish that up. But double agent splits, we need another fingerprint, so things are looking a bit dire here for Mini.
Yeah, I need the fingerprint, so the briefcase is open, but I think we're pretty much always gonna get shot for this. Well, actually, no, because Lev isn't
We're
giving
gonna have
us
to bug on return here.
right,
It's
because
our
Lev
only
didn't give
option.
us credit for contact, so Lev is gonna be watching this return very closely.
We didn't bug, and now we have no option to finish.
Yeah, so decent, pretty decent attempt from Mini. I think the only thing that might have been a mistake, it was probably an accident, but I think eliminating Small Man might have really hurt his chances of going for a win in that position. But yeah, overall, pretty nice attempt. I'm sure he would have hoped that that Purloin could have chained a little bit further, would have made it a lot more winnable. But yeah, it's kind of the luck of the draw. All right,
And this will
and
remain even ish.
yep,
Lev can tie it up,
yep.
or Mini
So
can tie it up.
yeah, so Mini will be looking to tie it up on the spy side, and Lev will be spying as Kane in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and if Lev is to take this set, I think taking an advantage on your double certainly the place to start it out.
Yeah, I was wondering if Lev was gonna, kind of answer with his own Purloin there, but instead, taking the strategy of holding AI control for a little bit and forcing Mini to be a little bit more controlled with his low lights.
Oh, AI control does the complete opposite of what a spy would have wanted to do there, which is stay and get that flirt and potentially contact later.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting decisions from the AI, but sending us to Green Bookshelf, and Lev is still on AI. I kind of thought he was gonna do this for maybe like 30 seconds max, but I think we've AI controlled so long that like we have to time out unless we're just going full on AI here.
AI takes us directly into the conversation next to Amba, and we'll force him out. 45% flirt, not ideal to get the 2 flirt, but still better than default.
Yeah, we're right next to Amba, but I think we were at an angle where Mini knows that we're never bugging in that position. So yeah, I'm kind of interested why that was the moment that he decided to go ahead and remove AI. I guess okay, go ahead and he can go ahead and get some sort of progress. Um, actually, like everyone is in these conversations. That would
Is
be
double agent
amazing.
joining? Wow, that was a really
Yeah, that's
decisive path.
Banana bread.
yeah, that is perfect timing because I mean, like, yeah, basically everyone's in combo. Well, most people are in combo, so a lot of people just got credit for that contact right now.
Yeah, even if it's only this conversation with Real, that's still fairly solid.
Yeah, and I think Lev is I mean, I'm not exactly sure what his plan was because he gave up about a minute to the AI control. I mean, surely he knows he's gonna finish a flirt, but he had 2 additional missions, not a lot of time, and it almost feels like it's too late to go for a time ad.
Sorry picks up a highlight, I think, for inspects, but if I remember correctly, she was outside of combo for BB. Difficult fingerprint.
Yeah, fortunately it does not hit the difficult, so should still be in time. Should still be enough time to get these inspects. Not quite. Picks up 2 of the inspects, which kind of hurts when you're going for middle inspects. So does the very slight movement, which of course is legal to get the last inspect. But surely Mini is watching us very closely.
Mini, I think, rotating specifically to guard against that swamp, as that would be our 4th mission. Crazy redirects. Purloin might be Lev's go-to option here as we finish up the flirt, but that will be enough for Mini to take the shot down 3.
Yeah, I think, just honestly, not a lot of other guests like really had that much credit. Yeah, I think just going and just knowing that we had that full inspects and then going back to the same conversation, which looks like finishing a flirt. That's probably enough for Mini. Um, not sure if we got credited with something else along the way, but yeah, either way, Mini was very on top of that game. And with that,
That
go
is the
ahead and
downside. The cost of AI control is that it takes a lot of time off your clock.
yeah, completely agree. I kind of feel like if you're gonna do something like that, like maybe try to mix in a time ad or something, to kind of make up for it. But regardless, let's go ahead and see how many can answer on the spy side as Teal in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And as we approach the singles in the latter half of this match, winning this double would be a huge boon for Mini.
Yeah, winning this, because yeah, I mean, with this being Lev's pick, that would certainly kind of, yeah, I mean that would be really hard for Lev to come back from. Um, I think he's probably hoping that he at least splits this going into the half. And yeah, so Mini kind of picks up that early window flirt and joins in with a double agent. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, if you're Mini, this kind of, like, a lot of people are in combo, but it feels a little dangerous
It's
taking
just got a
this
little bit
contact.
better. ST will join us. We'll take an innocent drink. Use a little bit of heat, but not content to take the contact just yet.
Yeah, so we committed to that fingerprint, but Taft decided that he would rather take it instead. So kind of shutting down some of our options at the moment.
If we get a
Joining
few
back in.
more, if we get a few more settlers in conversation, we might take this.
Agreed. Yeah, I think the earlier one didn't seem ideal, but the later it gets in the match, the more you're just going to take a decent or
Banana bread.
suboptimal contact. And yeah, so Mini goes ahead and takes it, and yeah, not too bad. Eliminated maybe like 4 or 5 guests, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, not too bad for ballroom.
And 2 highlights, it seems, are in the real conversation, which is quite nice as well.
All right, so we have not given up on fingerprints, so we go ahead and take this briefcase, get the regular print,
A lot of
and
time left on the clock too.
yeah, definitely plenty of time. Always feels nice to at least get that first fingerprint in hand. Like the last one can sometimes prove to be a little bit more challenging, but so of course Tex just left one on blue, so that should still be there later if needed. And he's also going to leave one on statues, which yeah, is almost guaranteed to... Oh, and Twin goes ahead and takes a bullet, so let's see what he did to deserve that.
He had some middle inspects early on. Into blue shelf, was in for that contact. It's one of the highlights. Couple flirts, innocent drink. Potential bug path on his way into conversation there. Let's take a look at that from Sniper's angle. Yeah, I mean, that looks like the trigger of the shot.
Okay. Yeah, so it kind of looks like one of those moments where Lev was kind of tunneling on an AI for probably good reason. He had sounds like he had a lot of credit to his name and just yeah, was just looking a little too spy-like. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was trying to keep Twin in his frame. Very possible that he was purposely trying to get him in for that contact at the very least. But yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of bad luck for Lev, and yeah, kind of worked out pretty good in Mini's favor.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lev takes that shot. I thought he had good eyes on both hands during that path, but maybe the pillar caused some doubt.
Yep. So now Lev in a position, kind of the position you don't really want to be, but in a yeah, kind of in a spot where you really want to start getting some spy wins, and against a pretty good sniper at that. So let's see if Lev can start things off with Rocker in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, last time Lev did a safe shot to the following game, Mini also did, but it was spy involvement both times, I think.
Yeah, so starting things off in AI, like I don't know if the players are like watching, you know, or at least doing a quick replay check between games, but if they are, Mini already knows this is happening. So yeah, okay, so much shorter this time, probably for the best. Settling in kind of an innocent conversation, but we do have to wait for Smallman to settle somewhere. Smallman who's actually already low lit, so even with these long AI controls, Mini's still taking his low lights.
Yeah, Smallman has picked up a low light already, it seems.
Yeah, not someone you really want to be a low light already,
Ooh,
because he's already been to books and
red
to
golden bug range.
statues.
There's a standing bug. Mini, I think, caught a glimpse of the hand, but I think is doubting himself.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Honestly, from both players, like Lev knowing that that's there and has a good angle, and Mini to actually kind of have the awareness. Because yeah, usually when you're guarding bugs on a venue like this, like those are really like the last kind of bugs that you're looking for. But yeah,
Unfortunately for Rev, we've had the laser like just slightly linger on us a couple times, so we might think we're more of a suspect for that than we actually are. Of course, Mini could also keep it in the back of his mind, but 2 minutes left, we're actually going to be in quite a bit of trouble to finish with that bug, even if it is clean.
yeah, and I think Lev's kind of feeling the heat too, because he just took that innocent drink, which it's going to take a little time to get rid of, and yeah, hasn't really left this conversation. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things where he really kind of needs to get moving to have a good chance of winning, because I don't think Mini is going to make another civ shot anytime soon. Um, so yeah, I think the onus is really on Lev to try to force something to happen here.
That's green for one of two, and I would say that because I think we're going to need two flirt to finish this in any reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, so interested to see what this last mission would be. Like, I'd really like to see Lev either get started on. I mean, honestly, I think Inspecs is probably the most reasonable, but I guess you always have Purloin as that kind of emergency button if needed.
Yeah, I think realistically we see a request here as we get the white flirt. Green Purloin, very quick reject. That should raise Minnie's alarm if he's not busy guarding this bug.
Yeah, so I mean it comes down to like how much were we suspected of that bug earlier? Because like
Banana bread.
we're gonna of course we're gonna be tunneled on the on any drink offers. Yeah, so I guess we were a pretty strong suspect, as Mini doesn't even wait for the Purloin to come off.
I don't like that path that Lev took afterwards. It looks like we split specifically to take a bug as we crash into the Amba.
Yeah, maybe a little less than ideal. surely Lev wanted to come in and finish up that flirt, but
And in that situation, it may not seem like it, but 24 seconds is a long time. You can afford to like not split that, let things settle a little bit, and then go for your flirt. But
yeah,
Mini
yeah, that's a fair
looks very
point. Like,
confident in the shot.
yeah, I mean, usually when you're thinking of these kind of splits, you're thinking of maybe doing them a little early when the sniper isn't necessarily looking for spy like actions. But yeah, with that, it looks like we are moving into halftime, and Mini comes out 5-3, and yeah, it didn't quite get there how we would have thought.
Yeah, and I don't have a highlight game in mind, because there were a lot of highlight games there, and I think we got a lot of the good moments there, especially the triple split delegate on Redwoods. That was definitely a moment worth uh, breaking down a little bit in how that induced the Civ shot. Uh, but really close game so far.
Yeah, pretty close game. Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see kind of a pair of civ shots on Redwoods. Um, yeah, I mean, it wasn't really what I was expecting. Like both players were making good plays on the spy side, but yeah, I didn't think that like the snipers were going to be or I didn't think civ shots were going to be what caused the snipers to break. I thought maybe someone would have found a way to a mission completion or something along those lines. And yeah, but yeah, unfortunately for Lev, yeah, picking up the additional civ shot on ballroom, just yeah, maybe just not quite seeing what he wanted to see in terms of that
Yeah,
bug opportunity with Twin.
we haven't seen very many Michelin countdowns yet. A lot of timeouts as well, or near timeouts.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if that's maybe a little bit because of the venues. Like for one, like Redwoods, like even though like you got all that tree cover and everything, it feels like the timer is always just working against you. Like even if you're on what feels like a good pace, that last 30 seconds just really sneaks up on you. Um, in ballroom, I don't know. I think these snipers are just they're just too good. So like you're trying so hard to be so sneaky, and yeah, that's another another thing that'll really cause the time to sneak up on you.
Well, without further ado, let's get into the singles latter half of the match. Mini has a 2 point lead. And we're starting out with Modern, Mini's pick.
Yep. So Mini's gonna kick things off as Seek in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Yeah, so I'm wondering if like maybe these next venues will kind of lead themselves more to mission win countdowns. Like I think of Modern, and it's like a venue where it feels like you're just so wide out in the open, and the sniper sees everything. But at the same time, like if you're hoping for civ shots or something like that, like it seems like it's a lot less likely to happen. So you kind of have to be aggressive and really force things.
Wide openness might be why Mini picked it. I think Modern pathing is quite strong, as we've seen him take advantage of.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point. I've played against some of these pathing snipers on Modern, and I've gotten shot at 0 missions. So yeah, I will agree with this being a pathing favored venue.
Speaking of getting shot for 0 missions, walking through conversation is certainly a way that can happen.
Yes.
But I don't think Lev is taking note of that.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. I'm sure that was accidental, but yeah, I wonder yeah, I wonder how much Lev is really paying attention to that. I know he's kind of probably more on the camping side of things, but I'm sure if you do a hard enough etiquette break, like on the like on Redwoods for example, he will notice. So yeah, making our way to a bar visit. So with the two
Uh,
inspects and flirt in
yeah,
hand,
I was
let's
about to say, I wouldn't be surprised to see us delegate to Smallman here with that book. Gonna take the flirt before we do it, just to make sure we get a little bit more progress for our trouble.
yeah, I mean delegating to a book holder worked out quite nice last time, and the bar is actually filling up enough where if we do delegate someone, it's gonna kind of take a while before it takes. So
Especially a slow character like Smallman. But I think Minnie decides not to.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised
Oh,
because like with the delegate in hand, like it seems like I mean, at least to me, like the strongest delegates feels like the one where they take very close to the timer expiring.
Yeah, we take a redirect, I think off of a bookcase, but it's closer to an SDA. So if this doesn't take, that might be better for Mini.
Yeah, I wonder if that was intentional. I know some people will intentionally send cast. Oh no, so it couldn't be intentional, right? Because it's an SDA. So
And I mean, unless Mini spotted Lev low lighting red dress at the start of the game,
okay,
there are ways of deducing the SDA, especially
yeah,
from
because
sniper behavior. But
I was gonna say some
uh,
people will do things like that on purpose because they know the sniper's not gonna be like camping it. So if there's enough people at the bar, there might be some confusion as to who actually took. Um,
oh,
but yeah, I
we
don't think that
dip
was
in
the
for a delegate
case.
reject. We just cut in line uh, between the SDAs. We're grabbing a delegate, and I assume that one's gonna be used for real. Because we have our two
And in
first
red.
highlights of the game for finishing inspects, and they're both gonna get knocked out, along with like 5 or 6 others.
Yeah, and let's see here. So heading to finish up statues, and did we
Yep, there's
delegate
the
to salmon?
purloin.
Yeah, we did. We did delegate to salmon. Okay.
Here's the completion. Lev, low lighting. So Mini is gonna get away with this one, it seems. As Lev is still contemplating this purloin, and he is low lit in countdown and extends his lead on his single pick.
Yeah, so that delegate cheese really paid off because we just weren't. Yeah, we weren't part of Lev's chain at the bar. So yeah, nice. Actually, nice. Yeah, pretty nice overall play from Mini, picking up the spy win, first mission completion of the game.
Yeah, we'll see if that sets the tone for the second half here. And if Lev can keep up with the pace, because I think he's been a bit behind so far on Modern.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lev, definitely if he wants to start getting some wins, definitely wants to get started as soon as possible. So let's see how he will do spying as Irish in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
If we do manage to chase down this flirt, I don't know if we will. I would love to see it be a cheese flirt, just to get a move on.
So yeah, of course Disney just immediately leaves after we spend all that time walking towards him. So yeah, Lev probably not too happy, but at least gives us some time to go ahead and get rid of this drink and kind of get our bearings. Pretty active party though. Quite a few people making their way to books, making their way to statues. Um, like usually this feels like a good time to go ahead and get in some activity yourself. I wonder if we have something in our plans with the ambassador, maybe waiting for him to set his briefcase down or to return this book.
Yeah, if he does take a path towards bar or bookcase, which he will be obligated to do, um, he could grace us with a bug path, but I don't think it's likely. I don't know if we're even going to get this flirt at bar. Disney does oblige with a sip, and Lev has his first progress of the game, but that's a minute off the clock.
Yeah, a minute, but luckily we do get that green flirt, so hitting a 2 flirt will probably keep us on decent pace, to go ahead and finish. And Lev, yeah, go ahead and also opting to go ahead and take this purloin. So looks like delegate will also be in our plans.
There's 5 low lights right now. No contact yet.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts because yeah, especially you're hoping like someone else can. Yeah, especially when it comes to things like this where you could be delegating to a low light and you might not even know it. So a little unfortunate, but join in with the SDA here. And sorry, so if we were to delegate now, it would go to the SDA. Um, Probably not ideal, but yeah, taking the flirt progress. So we do it. We do go ahead and delegate to queen, and I think she'll be taking the drink at a pretty late time. But I think Minnie is probably going to be on top of this because we were the last one to leave the bar from the that previous large group.
Yeah, and Mini's been on top of these bar highlights as well, taking a couple down. At the very least, it should be down to this conversation.
Yeah, so I mean, like on
Ooh,
the previous round, I think what really worked out for Minnie is like did such a quick reject that maybe we just weren't in that delegate chain, but there's really no doubt here that Lev was at the bar and is a suspect for delegating. The only thing really keeping Mini from shooting here is that we really don't have a lot else done mission wise. So I'm thinking probably in a place where we're going to get shot on another mission, but there are still a few highlights, so still could still very well be alive here.
Yeah, we won't be alive, but I don't think we're gonna reach countdown at the very least. I'm keeping an eye on ST. We kind of have to hope that he comes here, because having to chase ST and then DA is going to be a rough look.
Yeah, and I think like one thing we kind of tried to do earlier was a frame, but I think Mini has showed if you don't throw a contact in with your frame, like he's not going to take a shot. So even if we're not in for the contact, I think Lev needs to at least go for a fake here.
Here is the fake. It's only real for Duke, as the double agent splits immediately after.
Yeah, I wonder if that split was before or after. I think Mini probably still knows he can hold a shot in this position. Does not look too concerned from the sniper side, and yeah, so many people low lit already.
Duke leaves conversation. The second baby will just knock him out, and that will not, I think, convince Miniorek.
Yeah, I think that honestly for Mini that just came down to like one, the strength of pathing. Like he found so many additional lowlights in that game, and then just having just a really good handle on the bar situation.
Yeah, that single really paying off.
Yep, so looks like we're going to be moving on to Courtyard, so it'll be Courtyard 4 of 7. So um, let's see how this goes. Mini will be starting things off spying as Irish in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we do have a few more guests here on Courtyard than usual.
Yeah, so Mini kind of sticking to that tried and true strategy, just go straight in for the flirt. I thought he was trying for some bug shenanigans, but those are a little dangerous on Courtyard where you have that really high sniper angle.
Yeah, had to make the path into conversation a bit convincing from that position.
Banana bread.
Green BB will grace us as knocks out 4 guests, but that's not too shabby. Although that big conversation on the right is empty of SDA.
Yeah, and Lev kind of taking some aggressive highlights. I guess he has a good idea of who had real in that situation, and he is correct. Mini just still aggressively chasing down the ST. I think Mini's kind of in a position where he feels quite comfortable, has a pretty good lead, and honestly, I expect him to just kind of keep his foot on the gas and force Lev to take shots.
Yeah, Courtyard is typically a very cookie cutter venue where you get your 3 soft tells and then find one of the hard tells or fingerprint. So maybe feeling that he could just play it safe and with that lead as the insurance policy.
Yeah, so it looks like a difficult print will be in the plans, so let's see if he can hit this. And he does, so green fingerprint, so that's gonna...
Ooh, Amazon statues. I think we walked a bit too far for this, but
yeah, maybe
we'll
yes.
be confident on that.
Maybe slight etiquette break there. But regardless, yeah, we do have that difficult fingerprint in hand, and yeah, if we can finish up fingerprints as the last mission, it's gonna be an even harder shot for Lev to take, especially with one of them being the difficult.
Yeah, and I think something to note about Mini's decision-making process here potentially is that we waited to go for the print until we knew that Amba was leaving another one at the statue. We have a green purloin though.
Yeah, green purloin, so pretty rare sight here where we're on Courtyard and statues isn't part of your completion. So, and Lev very much on top of purloin. So, very interesting try from Mini. It was looking like a pretty good game so far, but yeah, that's I guess just the power of being on top of the purloin, and yeah, it actually had a really good feeling for who was in for that contact as well.
Yeah, that is how the courtyard crumbles.
Absolutely, and so yeah, let's see what Lev can do on the spy side. This yeah, so surely this is going to be one where he's looking to make a good effort on the spy side, and he'll be spying as Rocker in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I wonder if Lev has an idea uh, before going into this game of exactly what mission composition we want to aim for. Because
Yes.
courtyard, you can generally have a plan. I think more than other venues.
Yeah, I feel like those plans are already not going well, and we pick up a low light. What could that have been for? Because you know what's funny is like we started off with like a very clear pathing error, and I was saying I hope Minnie didn't see it, and it's now very obvious that he did not see it. So yeah, Ligorv, what do you think this low light's for?
It's almost certainly for pathing around the bush there. It's the only thing I can think of.
All right, so
Although,
apparently, yeah,
Mini
apparently
does
11 is.
guard the swamp, I think, in general. So, I think maybe trying to either easily confirm or deny this low light.
Yeah, so maybe, I guess Lev knows a little bit of pathing himself, that he took a good enough path to actually earn a low light,
Yeah,
without
maybe
being
this
on
pick
AI
is
control.
specifically a researched pick. Just thinking that, okay, mini lowlights for this, if I can replicate it, then I can get a spy win. Spy. We do have to make sure that we actually complete missions here.
Yeah, yeah. I
Get
mean,
the hang of the
very,
fight.
very impressive start. I almost wonder if Lev like thought that was a highlight. Um, I mean, which would make sense. I mean, if you're at statues, that really should be an instant highlight.
Ooh, this might be a
Ah, and green
way to throw this
purloin
game
could
away.
just
Behind the pillar, though, we
yeah. This
leave as
we
well.
leave, but we still have this drink in hand, and
If
I
we
feel like
down this before we're seen at statues, ooh,
so we go from a low light to a highlight. I think Minnie saw the tail end of that drink animation, so he's probably thinking like, "Hey, like, when did you get that drink?" Um, yeah. So very unfortunate for Lev is really all I can say about that. And yeah, the lowlights are coming off.
yeah, and unfortunately, we didn't get much done while we had that low light. We still need 2 more flirts, so it's gonna be tough to get away with even more on top of this white purloin.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because like I mean, of course of course I would have loved him to do tons of progress as a lowlight, but I think there's really no reason for him to think that he's lowlight in that situation.
Banana
Um,
bread.
yeah, so a little
Stop
unfortunate, and
clock Green BB is only real for the 2 in this conversation, but that might slow some doubt for Mini. Although he is a very confident sniper.
yeah, this. Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, this just
Banana
feels
bread.
over. I mean, with us being the only highlight and Kane the only neutral light, this does not look good for Lev. That being said, I mean, it's still technically possible to get to mission 1 countdown, but a lot needs to happen like right now. I guess we didn't have the timer on the flirt, so I guess it wasn't gonna work out. Yeah, it goes for the
We
time
have a
ad, but
shot too late for sync there, but it didn't matter as Lev started adding time just way too late as Rocker.
yeah, so I mean, pretty honestly, pretty nice effort from Lev. I think there were times when it felt like that was winnable, but White Purloin is always very painful, especially on something like Courtyard where there's really not that many other things you really have to pay
I
attention
think
to.
we did nearly make it work. If that glass hadn't been seen at statues, I think Lev might have avoided the uh, highlight.
Yeah, true. Especially, yeah, considering he did take when Mini had, not the right sniper angle to see it. Um, but yeah, with that, Mini heading into Aquarium still has that 2 game or 2 set lead, and we'll be spying as General in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Is that a 9-3? Ooh, we attempt a BB split early on. And Lev will find that pretty easily.
Yeah, so Mini taking a page out of the David W. playbook and Lev immediately shooting him for it, saying no thank you.
I'm very curious how that would have played out had that not gone awry. But I'm confident that Lev could have, narrowed it down correctly and safely.
Yeah, so here's the tough part. You're Lev, you're spying on Aquarium, must win. Actually, I could be wrong, but are we already in a position where he can only draw?
I thought we were 7-3 going into courtyard.
Okay, so Aquarium, balcony. Okay. Yeah, so either
Are we
way,
8-4?
Rate 5, gentlemen.
8-5. Thank you, wrestler.
okay, so I guess we're still in a position where there are some chances, but yeah, obviously, must win spy on Aquarium against Mini. Not a position you want to be in because, as we already know, Mini's taking very aggressive pathing lowlights. Almost backfired last round, but for the most part has been working out in Mini's favor. So let's see what Lev can do as Queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, without Mini at a winning point already, I'm surprised that Mini goes for that play in the last game. It seems like I've won the set, I can do whatever I want type plan.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, yeah, I think even if Lev won out the remaining 3 games, I think that would in fact be a draw. And kind of a interesting start here. Like we kind of had that we kind of had another pathing error right off the bat, but this time we don't get a low light immediately following. Yeah, going immediately to the bar, going for the QXG, so gotta love that. And picking up what I assume is just a regular bar highlight. And yeah, general immediately gets low lit, I guess, just for that CC entry.
Difficult fingerprint is quite nice. Amba, if he lingers in this mid conversation, could pose a threat for a couple of bugs, but of course he decides to leave.
So it looks like we do not get rewarded for our conversation entry. I think Lev wasn't too happy with it either. But yeah, taking this additional for progress, Tex takes away our opportunity for another print, but probably didn't want to take those 2 prints this early in the game anyways. But my God, these
Yeah,
lowlights are
of the
quite
bar
aggressive.
highlights, 3 of them have been low lit, and the other people at bar haven't picked up highlights, so perhaps there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah, in case anyone was considering playing Aquarium against Mini, I would not recommend it because this is quite terrifying so far. I mean, I will say like these might be on the more aggressive side of highlights where like he doesn't know that they're AI, but he's just yeah, it's just a thought.
Yeah, perhaps is stronger on this venue, uh, or is emboldened despite the fact that we low lit incorrectly in the last game.
But yeah, either way, it is quite working out for Mini because of course Spy is still in it, still actually the only highlight. So actually, okay, we finally do get back down
Might get
to a
bumped
neutral.
up back here for going for the difficult print again, though.
Yeah, I think we will. Um, Looking at our progress so far, we're probably gonna strongly consider actually delegating this Purloin as well.
Ooh, we just
Um,
purloin it.
oh, we do the
Um,
direct Purloin. Interesting.
the SDA is, I think, who we're framing for this as well. So that's unfortunate, but it could confuse Mini at least a little bit. Do we have this difficult print, though?
Yeah,
Did we
definitely
fail?
taking our time to. Oh, okay.
Oh, we failed it. We ignored the action test, so it must have been like an early green or something.
Interesting. Yeah, so kind of a tough position to be in since we're really the only suspect for Purloin. Um, yeah, I think we can maybe pick up another print potentially, but I think on contact Mini's probably taking the shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, the SDA has, or the DA has been out of conversation for most of this game, and it seems like most of it's been at the green shelf. going for this briefcase, but
Yeah, I will say though, we still are on Aquarium. There's always shark shenanigans that can make an unwinnable game winnable, but
I don't think we're gonna be graced with any opportunities here.
yeah, and I think Mini just guarding every possible angle here. So yeah, come in for the bug, decent try, but party was just way too narrowed down at this point, and yeah, Mini very closely guarding it.
Unfortunately, as we decide to go in for that contact, she goes back to the green shelf yet again. So rough game, a bit out of Lev's control, but if we'd gotten the print at the difficult print or the drink, could we have bugged and shark walked somehow? I don't know how Lev wins that one, but we'll
Yeah,
see if
definitely.
Mini. See how it goes on a balcony as we close out the set.
All right, so Mini will be spying on balcony as Tex in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and I think all the stakes are off at this point. I think Mini is guaranteed 3-0 out of the group. And Lev is 0-2, I think.
Yeah, I do believe that is correct.
So
So
this might be
result of
a
this,
no
not
stakes
super
balcony
important.
game.
Yeah.
And that
Banana bread.
might lead to some entertaining games.
Yep. But yeah, regardless of the stakes, Mini is going for what is pretty much the classic balcony strat, just 2 flirt, contact, and hope that you don't get shot. And taking a briefcase, so for balcony, I guess that's considered interesting because it's not something you see players doing
Goes
a lot.
for it immediately, but doesn't hit it.
Yeah,
And
it
if
goes in
he had
straight.
it would have been a win.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be very hard to shoot for that. But that being said, now we're in a spot where Lev probably will go ahead and find this shot on the next flirt. It just comes down to like, are we paired with Seek? But it might not even matter.
Yeah, Seek joins across the conversation, so we take that quickly, and that's hard to pair.
Took it quickly. I think Lev is thinking
Standing
about
bug.
it. Oh. All right. So yeah, Mini actually just goes ahead and gets the spy win. So well done from Mini. And let's see how Lev can do on the spy side. So spying as Boots in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and that bug in the last second took 0.2 seconds before the game expired, and Pearls decides in this game to start in the center conversation.
Yeah, so I guess Mini has already decided that Pearls is the spy and he's low-lighting everyone else. Well, okay. Temporarily was low-lighting everyone else. Lev actually taking the spy control to get a free low light, which okay, that actually does work quite well on balcony. Maybe even to brag a little bit, I think I've gotten Mini to low light me for this very same play. So yeah, AI control pretty good on early stages of balcony.
Yeah, and luckily it's the ST who's in the center of conversation, so any position will really do, or would
Yep,
have
so
done.
yeah. But we got the early green, so
Oh,
not
Purloin's on.
not too worried. Oh yeah, Purloin is on. Interesting.
Lev
I did
is
not even notice that.
Lev is an ambassador of Purloin Balcony.
Yeah, I mean I kinda like it. It's like bugs, like I feel like you need to be kinda lucky to hit a bug on balcony, but I mean you can always Purloin and hope that it chains around the conversation.
It does cast Balcony more into the reliance on action tests, but might as
True.
well.
Yeah, I mean it already does kind of feel like action test simulator with the way it already is,
Banana
so
bread.
why not add another one to the mix? So we do get the contact, which completely fine considering we're a low light. I'm not much to worry about, but
Can't really finish Flirt. Might have to come down to a Purloin, but we're gonna have to down this drink with a really long drink animation.
yeah, we can't finish flirt unless we just reposition, which is gonna look really weird. But
Bug here would have unironically been alright.
so we're not taking the purloin. Okay, we're just
Oh,
gonna. So we were gonna just take the flirt, but our ST is not having
I
it.
like that idea. Unfortunately, ST bails immediately. Um, and Lev didn't get a chance to do it, but I think that would have worked. I don't think Mini. I don't know. I can't speak
Yeah, I
for
mean, I
Mini,
would have,
but I
I
don't
would have,
think that that was noticed.
yeah, I think it was an okay play. I would have liked it a little earlier just to not force overtime, but either way, yeah, in a position where it's not super important, so I think Lev probably wasn't too worried about it. And with that, yeah, Lev, or I'm sorry, Mini takes a pretty convincing 11-5 victory, and yeah, just looked really strong. Like looked, I mean, just really good throughout that whole set. If I'm any of his future opponents, I'm not looking forward to playing against him when he's in this form.
Definitely a favorite to win it all again.
Yeah, so let's see at the way these groups look. So Mini, yeah, already guaranteed he's going into that first position, and I guess Ada, it looks like it's already been decided that he's going to second. So that leaves Lev and Koopa will just kind of duke it out for that third spot. That'll be their last match, and so it looks like yeah. So Mini looking to he's gonna be looking to go against whoever comes in second in that group B. So yeah, still some interesting semifinals left to be played, and some interesting matches left to be played in brackets as well. Um, so yeah, what do you think about this bracket from here on out?
Let's see. We have Rav and Opie. Rav, Opie, and who's the third one in that group in the bottom?
Grash.
Looks like Grash.
Grash. So, no offense to Grash, I think it's going to be Rav and Opie, Mini, and Ada. Ada, I think, is the biggest underdog out of those four, although probably would give Opie a run for his money. Um, I think it's going to come down to Mini and Rav.
Yeah, that would probably be the most expected finals. Yeah, so some interesting semifinals. So, like, assuming Rav wins his bracket, which is a pretty fair assumption, he's going against Ada, two really strong snipers. So that's yeah, just kind of the battle of two ridiculously good snipers on one side, and then it looks like it would probably be yeah either OP or Crash on the other side going against Mini. And I think honestly, I think both OP and Crash have had some very interesting battles um, with Mini in the past. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that turns out. But yeah, I mean, with that, looks like that's gonna wrap up our match for today. Pretty well done from both players, honestly. Pretty good play all around. But yeah, Mini just showing why he's the favorite in the group and getting it done today.
Yeah, and some great games by both. Some fun plays to analyze and break down.
Yep, and with that, looks like that'll wrap up our day. So plenty more games to play. I think still some more round robin matches left to be played. So you know, join us again for those. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching today. I'll see you next time.